Crack them if you got
Crack them if you got them, baby.
You would think right now, if you just tuned in, that we were 8-5.
But we ain't, because we
Crack 'em
cracking
if
that
you
double
got 'em.
R drip today.
Not 5-8. We got to touch on it a little bit. The Overshown injury, losing Overshown for the rest of the year, probably even into next year. Even the possibility that he has a hard time bouncing back from that, a PCL, MCL, ACL tear. Like second one in his second year. Like it was just a compound of things that made that Bengals game the hardest one this season.
I feel slightly responsible because earlier that day I sent a message to our Pod Boys chat that includes UKST and Matty Vink, and I shared, okay, Jonathan Brooks also had a knee injury, the same knee, 3 games into his NFL career that he was recovering from his college days. And I said, oh man, if this happens twice to the same knee, like chances that you're going to have a successful career in the NFL after that is, very slim. And this is what happened to Overshown. So,
well, in positions like running back and linebacker, where you probably have some of the most wear and tear on your knees.
Yeah,
you're kind of going across the field,
and the way that Overshown plays, too.
The way he plays, and it was such a way it happened.
Though there's a high probability that you injure your other knee when you're rehabbing, like after rehabbing your one leg. It's common for your other leg to give out.
Because it's been favoring.
Yeah.
But the thing the injury though, it didn't give out. He got a guy pushed. He got a guy pushed onto it, right?
That might be the only thing is that whereas Brooks was non-contact,
which they're always scared. Remember we saw that it wasn't it was a contact injury, we were all kind of like, oh, maybe it's not going to be that bad because
he got up and he was walking off.
We sounded like Tony Romo there. Oh, it's just a sprain.
It might just be.
You use the word gut. I used the word gut wrenching when I was typing the reaction video today. And
what did AI say?
I didn't even look at AI. I did what I thought, and I put the video up. And then when I shared it to you guys and I saw it there, I was like, gut wrenching. We used it. I used the gut wrenching on the other one, and I was like, what is this? And I wrote heartbreaking loss. So you said that, like, it felt very heartbreaking.
Because it's a game the Cowboys could have won. They had the chance. And then the way it came down for the Bengals to get their last drive with an amazing blocked punt. Vigil gets in there, blocks a punt, and then it just falls into AO's hands, and he flubs it, and they pick it up and then score with Jamar Chase like 2 plays after. It was just a whirlwind of emotions.
It's been a struggling season all year. When Dak had his first season-ending injury and this kind of scenario repeated where Cooper Rush came in, it was only for 6 games, happened much more earlier in the season, but the rest of the team stayed together. So it was like, it still felt like in that moment, every game, it was like, well, if we get through this until Dak gets back, we have a chance. This one, of course, a lot different in that Dak is, out for the season. And maybe he would have had a chance to come back if we were able to hold it together. But it's all these other pieces getting injured. And it's not just our big guys. It's a bunch of those secondary dudes. Sam Williams comes to mind right away. And Marshawn Nealon.
Nealon missed a bunch of time, yeah.
Nealon's back now. But just we haven't really seen
D-Law's out,
Yeah, D-Law. There's those big pieces that have been missing, but it's also those little ones that
the trinkets.
Yeah, and so now we're going to the well with like AO. I'll just call him.
That's AO's just the way to go.
And
AO has to go.
He hasn't played terrible. That happened to him, and he did lose the game, but like. It feels like anytime we start to get our foot down, settled again and be like, okay, maybe the team, like these guys are coming in, they're filling in nicely. Then we have another major disruption where one of our pillars goes down, and Overshown is that type of dude.
He was one of the only bright spots of the season.
Yeah.
Honestly, going into I was rocking his color rush jersey when it happened, but he was one of the few bright spots. He was fun to watch. He was making plays. He had that big touchdown on Thanksgiving. He was flying around before the injury in the fourth quarter, making tackles, making big plays. And then it's just gut-wrenching, heartbreaking to see him go down.
A couple people in chat are saying him being pretty small for a linebacker. So Danks 9000 says, isn't the linebacker position supposed to be around 240?
Not weak side, technically,
Brent
though.
Packer guy says 220 is a heavy safety because Overshown's 220 is what they're saying. And I would just say, like, look, and they're saying he would have trouble tackling a running back. We haven't seen any type of trouble from Overshown outside of just moving too quick sometimes and missing the tackles. But he's been playing from what we're seeing lights out, and I think that's also why like seeing him go down like that and just coming off of last year.
He was our most aggressive defensive player by far. Like he was shooting the gaps, shooting the holes. He was beating offensive linemen to their blocking assignments because he was so fast. So just need to see a guy that's just rehabbed all last year in his rookie season to then get hurt late in December, because if you go with, I'm going to say minimum 10 months you need to heal, or use like a Trevon Diggs kind of timeline. Trevon Diggs towards ACL, I believe it was at the end of September last year, and he wasn't even ready till the very, very start of the season. So getting the 3 ligaments torn in early December, that has to put you out till
he'll
November next year, maybe just like around this time, maybe even next year.
I would say he's not going to play in 2025, to be honest.
It might be tricky.
But just to go on that comment,
Yeah.
I had the same thought. Like I wanted a linebacker who was at least 235 pounds, 6 foot, whatever,
Beefcake.
6'2" plus. Yeah. But then I started looking at, because those options weren't necessarily available for the Cowboys. So I started looking at, okay, well, who are these top linebackers?
Can you click his bio too quick, AJ? Sorry.
Yeah. Who are the top linebackers in the NFL in today's NFL? This is all it gives you.
I thought it was going to give. I thought it was going to give his size.
It does at the top.
Here, 6'3", 220.
Okay.
So you're absolutely right. That is fair, pretty light. But we're seeing now more so instead of that 240 plus linebacker, it's now more 230. All of the like elite running linebackers generally are more so in that 230, 235 range now. And I think it's just because obviously conditioning, and you can still get that same amount of strength that you were looking for in that 245 plus pounder 10 years ago. You can still get that today with just the increase in training and sports science and all that. So I like 220, very light. Absolutely. But it doesn't matter if
I think it's only light if he's getting blocks are getting on him, but he had overshown that he could get by offensive linemen with his speed.
Yep.
Right. That's only bad if you're Damone Clarking yourself and not moving forward. Overshown would see a gap or see a hole, and he's hitting it before anybody can get there to block him. Sure, if he's sitting back and trying to react, yeah, he's going to get smashed out. But his play style is super exciting, and again, it's just really, really shitty that he got hurt.
He ended up with, in the 2024 season, and we can move on after this. I know you guys are itching to get on with the show. I can feel it.
No, not at all. I'd rather talk
I'm just
about
over here
Overshown.
fucking scratching
It's
myself.
over there getting some Ozempic side effects.
Well, I can hear the CanFan Maniacs just screaming at the computer.
Get on with it.
Move on.
Stop living in the past.
What's going on with Panthers? 61 solo tackles. That's 30th in the NFL.
Side quest.
Out of linebackers. The second most sacks with 5.
Yeah, man.
You know, extrapolate that.
Huge.
He could have hit 10 sacks this year for a linebacker.
And that wasn't even He didn't even play. Like he was playing it in the few first games, but
He wasn't playing.
He wasn't start. Yeah, like I felt like he was. If he could have got through the season on the pace he was going, I would have been very excited for his growth into next year. Now it's like, are we even gonna, like AJ said, are we even gonna see him in 2025?
Well, I would hope that, like, and again, I don't want to start talking about next season playoffs, but that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get him healthy so that
We're coping.
If there is a chance that the Cowboys make playoffs next season,
like January 2025.
No, next.
I like it. Keep going.
You said You said next year, January 20.
I said next year, and then I said next season.
Okay.
So I said next season to correct myself.
I'm just trying to cope.
Fair enough.
So I think that in that mindset, you look at him. At least like the one thing that's kind of as much shit that everybody talks about with the Cowboys, you do feel a little bit sense of loyalty to that. Like when an injured player happens, they'll, even if he's going to be a bust, like Jerry's going to probably keep him for at least one more season, or at least.
You calling Overshown a bust?
No, I'm just saying like. You got
Even
a guy.
if he was.
Yeah, like look at how many guys who haven't panned out for us we've kept on the squad to try to give them options. I mean, we're paying Trey Lance $5 million to hold a clipboard and stay on the sidelines. So you think that Overshown gets that rehab done? don't force him early, and then have him, stacked away for the playoffs next season. And if he doesn't, then you have him for the 2026 season.
I see what you're saying.
No, and yeah, I agree. I'd say just I don't want to see him be rushed back because his career is too valuable to try to get a couple extra games out of him.
25 years ago, he's
done.
Probably not playing ever again. So it's a testament to how the medical field's moving.
Ship him back to Texas. Is that where he?
Yeah. Yep.
The Longhorns.
Yep. He was born and raised in East Texas. So every team he's ever played for is Texas.
Gut wrenching.
That is.